Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be UFC 108 post-fight commentary. We're going to start off with Junior Dos Santos versus Gilbert Yvel. I don't know if you noticed this, but there was no stare down. They didn't get to walk up to the ref and look at each other. I don't know if it had something to do with that Dana might have thought Yvel was going to do something crazy, like hit the ref or hit Junior before the fight even started. So I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Basically, this fight went sort of like I thought. I really thought that, I don't know if any of you noticed his ear, how jacked it was, like I talked about in one of my other videos. It sort of went like I thought, but I really sort of thought he was going to try to take it down because of the jacked ear, but maybe that was just a red herring in it, you know. But I mean, that was amazing, man. He did a great job. Junior Dos Santos did a great job knocking out Gilbert Yvel, and you know, everybody's saying, "Oh, you don't know Gilbert Yvel. You haven't seen him fight," you know. But I've seen his record, and sort of like in the stock market, you don't have too much details. Actually, can cloud your decision on something. So anyway, I thought it was a decent stoppage, you know, but I think he should have gave him 2 more seconds, or maybe 5, you know, because 2 more seconds he might have flipped over. I thought it was a little bit short, but I don't think it really changed the outcome of the fight, because I think Junior was still going to knock him out. And I guess Junior's going to have some stiff neck competition in his next fight, especially if he fights somebody like Frank Mir, who take him down and submit him. So anyway, you gotta say good job, Junior Dos Santos. Some happy people in Brazil tonight, I'm sure. Next fight, Dustin Hazlett versus Paul Daly. That was a crazy kick that he come out and did the first. I don't know if it was a spinning axe kick or whatever that was. It didn't look like he was really positioned well enough to hit, but Paul did exactly what he should have done. He knocked him out on the feet, and I think Dustin he probably had a good game plan, but he started getting a little too comfortable on his feet. And once Daly threw a head kick, and I was thinking, oh man, that's a perfect opportunity to grab that leg and just take him down. And something else I was thinking, since we know Paul don't want to go to the ground, we know Dustin does want to go to the ground, I would expect, or I'd want to have seen a lot of head kicks from Dustin, because he knows he's not going to get taken down by it. Just make sure you're covering up when you're throwing them so you don't get knocked out. But so anyway, you got to say good job, Daly. I mean, I think this went exactly like we thought it was going to go. Daly, well, actually, it went a little bit better for Dustin than I thought, because he did better in the striking. However, if he'd kept the pot shots, 1 and 2 pot shots, he'd have been fine. But when he started engaging, it was only a matter of time before Syntex knocked him out. So I'm sure there's some happy British people tonight, but I think it was a good stoppage too. I like that. That was a good safe stoppage. I think I'd like to see him fight next Josh Koscheck, Fitch, or Thiago. I think I'd rather see him fight Koscheck or Koscheck or Thiago, but I think it's see him in with a strong wrestler and see how he does, because I'm not convinced he's going to handle somebody like Koscheck, who's definitely going to be able to take him down. And we know he's not going to be able to handle GSP, because GSP will take him down. And you could tell he was tentative, like I was thinking he was going to be, afraid of the takedown. So anyway, good job, Paul Daly, and nice show of respect at the end of the fight too. Okay, Rashad Evans, Thiago Silva. Man, I knew this was going to be a boring fight. I just knew Rashad was going to do the GSP style, lay and pray, use the wrestling so I don't have to really, really fight. And I'm sure it's people in Canada. It had nothing to do with Canada. I ain't trying to piss on Canada. Safety first mentality. Rashad did better than I thought, though, because I really thought Thiago would be able to throw him off, but he wasn't. He didn't seem to have the speed of mind to keep Rashad off. Rashad definitely had more speed, I would say more spirit, but Thiago had more awareness of mind, if you will, and basically wore Thiago out in the first couple rounds. And you know, Thiago did a real good job of almost knocking him out, man. He almost had him. I thought it was that close to knocking him out, and I was like, oh, come on, man, don't make me look bad. So anyway, I'm sure he's disappointed. He looked slow, man. He looked faster than that in the weigh-ins. I think the boy needs to work on his food and up his spirit. You know what I'm saying? So Good job, Rashad Evans, even though, like I said, I think he's going to start doing the same thing GSP's doing, and it's not going to be fun to watch him anymore. He's not going to be a fan favorite like he's been the last little bit, so I don't know. It's sort of disappointing, and I don't know. It's really, I don't know. I think it's about 75% right on that fight of what I thought was going to happen because Rashad, and I think this fight's really not going to leave Rashad with much confidence after getting knocked out. And I think it's going to make him more likely to do wrestling in the next fight because he don't want to get in there and exchange after almost getting knocked out again. This is going to make him even more dependent upon wrestling. So you can expect boring fights from him, even when he fights Rampage. He don't want to get knocked out, and Rampage will knock his ass out if he stands with him. That's a given. Did you see Thiago take one of Rashad's, that punch that would have knocked Chuck Liddell out? He took it. He's like, well, hell, that ain't nothing. So anyway, I guess Thiago needs to go to the drawing board and practice his wrestling and get his spirit up, because like that, somebody like Rashad's going to take advantage of him. And let's see what else or anything. Anyway, good job, Rashad Evans, even though I don't like that kind of fighting at all. Okay. Joe Lauzon versus Sam Stout. And this went pretty much exactly like I thought it would. I knew Lauzon was going to come out and have that, 15 seconds of just absolutely amazing kind of something. And then after that, if he didn't sink whatever it was he was going for, he was going to be in a lot of trouble. And that's exactly what happened. And I was really sort of disappointed with Sam Stout not finishing him, because he really had Joe on the ropes, really, for 2 rounds. He should have finished it, in my opinion, because it was obvious Joe was too tired to get a takedown on him, and if he got him down, he's too tired to work a submission. So, that was one hell of a Kimura attempt, you have to admit, dude. The way he was just, and like I said, I knew that's the way it was going to be, but he didn't. If he was able to pull it off, it would have made me look great, but he didn't. So anyway, I'm sure there's Canadian fans who are cheering tonight, but anyway, that's enough on that one. Jim Miller versus Dwayne Ludwig. I was watching Miller walk out, and I was thinking my whole time, I was like, that dude is a stud, man. Sort of like a Matt Hughes. He's just a strong dude. And, it was good. He knocked the guy out that was supposed to be a better striker than him, and then he armbarred him. So, he basically had his way with him, I thought. And I also liked the way he finished it, too. He didn't break the guy's arm, which he obviously had him in a bad situation. He could have put maybe a half a second more torque on it, but he was real good about letting it go, so I like to see that. And as I was watching this, I was thinking, wrestlers really do have a huge advantage in the UFC or in a fight like that, because they get to determine where the fight goes. And the guy that's a good striker but not necessarily a good wrestler, he's tentative, and so that makes the wrestler striking really good, where it may not actually be as good, because anytime he comes forward, the striker's thinking he's going to wrestle, and he's trying to brace for it, and he gets hit. And I think that's what happened to BJ Penn against GSP. He was reacting to the wrong thing. He was reacting to the wrestling and was getting hit by strikes. So wrestling, and it's basically like poker. If you got a guy in a position where you can go either way, and he doesn't know which way you're going to play, it always keeps him off balance. And with a good wrestler like that, has a strong ground game, he always keeps the other guy off balance if the other guy's just a good striker. So, that was a real good fight for Jim Miller. He showed a lot. I'd be interested in seeing him fight somebody else. But Takamori, I can't remember how to say it. Gomi is going to be in the UFC, so that ought to be interesting. I don't think he's going to be a champ or anything like that, but it'll be interesting to see some of the matchups they put him in there with, and like to see some more Japanese people represented in the UFC, so that'll be interesting. Get a more diverse mix. Anyway, I think that's all I really wanted to say. Anyway, folks, if you wouldn't mind rating, and until next time. Oh yeah, I do have a playlist. I'll pop a little bubble up. Plus, I have a MMA training video, and I'll pop another bubble up. You can watch that one too. It's pretty interesting if you want the mental aspects of how to train better in your MMA. Till next time, later, folks. I look forward to talking to you in the next few minutes. Later.